So we're going to start with the news from the day. So for those of you, like, if people are still not aware, the lore matters now, just as a heads up. So this idea, like all of those notions about the lore that you've heard about, like, oh, they've abandoned it and they don't make scope videos like they used to and blah, 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 blah. They are no longer true as of technically February. But, you know, during each of the last previous events, we got 2 to 3 videos each event. And now I think we've gotten 2 videos in like 3 days because of everything going on. So today they dropped the news based on what happened at FanFest. For those of you who haven't logged in, as of yesterday, you can now side with the bad guys, this new smuggler organization known as the Deathless. So we're going to talk more about them too. But first, we're going to watch this scope video.
Smuggling encounter.
I know, it was muted. It's muted. Now it's not.
Capsuleers attending a session of the Interstellar Anti-Smuggling Encounter Piracy Conference at the Jita 4 TAC 4 Trade Hub were surprised when a CONCORD presentation on rising smuggler activity was apparently hijacked by the very same smugglers.
Platitudes, blandishments, lies. You of all people know that CONCORD and the Empires have no interests in common with you. They have done nothing for you. They shall do nothing for you. How long will you listen to their empty words? In recent days, as is their pitiful habit, CONCORD has made use of you to advance their own agenda. These free trade outposts you have so willingly cleared of my associates have been taken over by CONCORD's worst, the Sero. Perhaps you don't believe me? Check for yourself. I have broadcast the new signatures of those sites to all. Why should you not destroy the Sorrow bully boys? They have always sought to control you. Do their bidding no more. Open your eyes. Seize your destiny. And, if you would, join me, the Deathless.
Embarrassed by this intrusion, CONCORD officials have refused to comment on Sorrow activity at occupied smuggler outposts, other than to state that measures are simply being carried out to ensure the complete eradication of illegal smuggling activities. Any recent improvements in the strained diplomatic relationship between the Galente Federation and the Caldari state have been overshadowed by claims that a Galente diplomat was involved in a massive spy ring operating within the Caldari state. The Caldari State's chairman, Akimaka Saraki, delivered a fiery speech in a live broadcast from the Caldari Chief Executive Panel yesterday. The scheduled speech was reportedly originally aimed at promoting interstellar diplomacy due to the ongoing Jita 4 TAC 4 summit. However, with state corporations and citizens expressing outrage over the new allegations, the delivered speech leaned heavily into patriotic rhetoric and evoked previous hostilities with the Galente state.
We remain Caldari, no matter the cost.
No direct response or comments have been made by the Galente Federation so far, but Federation Navy and Customs Forces have been placed on heightened alert status. This is Alton Havery, reporting for The Scope.
I always love it when people start figuring it out. So I went to Reddit today and I posted this on there, and somebody, or maybe it was yesterday or the last scope video, either way, somebody commented on it. It's like, I'm really starting to get some like Empyrean Wars vibes. And I was like, really? You don't think? Oh my god. Yeah, very few of us have actually watched the videos today. I think less of us felt inclined to wake up at like god-awful in the morning in order to see it. So we're just going to all watch it together. But in the meantime, I kind of was going to be working on my lore portal because I've got some work to do if you guys don't mind, while we hang out and chat. Oh, so there's something about this Deathless guy. So first of all, as I pointed out yesterday, like there's his symbol right there, the snake, the Ouroboros snake with the dot in the middle of it. And I feel like we've seen this logo before. Somebody help me out if we have. But either way, I did some homework about the Deathless, and if you look up the word Deathless, it's only happened once before. Yeah. Man. Oh. What about the MPE? What about the pirates in the MPE? What logo do they have? Do we remember? That's a good point. That's a good point. Okay, that might be it. It might just be that simple. I think that I've been saying this for a while. So this is the only other reference to the Deathless I've been able to find, which is CONCORD confirms rumors of investigation into Serpentis fleet strength. So this is during the Shadow of the Serpent event. This is actually, fun fact, this was the first event, I believe, with a track on it. And the final reward was the new Serpentis Dreadnought BPC. And it was so painful that every person I knew that actually completed the track quit the game for at least a month out of burnout afterwards. Adri B, how's it going? 07. Why don't you have VIP? Because I ran out of VIPs. Damn it. All right, well, and I'll just shout you out. SO. I did see you streaming yesterday. I think it was yesterday. So the point is that this thing says the unusual statement from General Karashi follows unconfirmed reports of a stolen copy of the FIO dossier on Serpentis military backup making its way into the hands of an entity known only as the Deathless. So, FIO. Who's the FIO? Does anybody remember? Federal Intelligence Office, right? What is the FIO's other name? Isn't that the Black Eagles? Right? Is that true? I know this is kind of basic stuff, but I'm trying not to make any assumptions here. Yeah, FIO is, but I'm pretty sure Black Eagles is FIO, right? What's the difference? Assault's FIO is wiped out by Black Eagles. Maybe not. Federal Intelligence Office. Ostracon Agency assaulted a Black Eagles facility. Is it the Covert Branch? I'm drilling into this for a very specific reason. I'm chasing down something. Or how about Mentis Black? Oh, thanks. Okay, so the reason why I'm saying this is because of one of the references in in Estri's posts from the Garistas. So let's look at this real quick. Galente Federation's image within the popular sphere is well known. It's a place of wonder and opportunity, home to open-minded and welcoming people filled with intellectual discourse and quality arts of every sphere. Traditionally, it's been a haven for those hailing of parts distant, unsatisfied with their surroundings, and seeking a new home in which to express themselves. Renowned in equal parts for its liberalism and its boundless appetite for individual uniqueness, Galente has always been a place where misfits can slot in, where artists can find their venues, and where champions of every cause can find their soapbox. Over the past year, however, the new presence have been known across the Federation, casting its protective shadow over all it surveys. For the average Galentean citizen, the change has been minimal, but for those who follow along with the events of the day, it has become evident that a deep new tone has begun its quiet rumble across the political landscape. The Black Eagles were founded in the aftermath of the Galente's historic Luminaire defeat of YC-110 after the prominent figures of the federal milieu came together in agreement that the nation's armed forces were all but crumbling at the seams with corruption. A sizable group of politicians, corporate figureheads, lobbyists, and cultural icons petitioned President 410 to create an emergency integrity commission, which would ensure that the nation's military leadership not only had the aptitude to lead their forces to victory, but that they met the high moral standards of the Galente Federation while doing so. The influential coalition was distrustful of the methods employed by the president to tackle the issues erupting within the empire at the time, and felt that the search for the turncoat Admiral Aventure, at the time a major rallying cause for the nation so freshly bludgeoned by humiliating defeat, was no more than a simple patch on a festering wound. Though the exact degree of this involvement is debated to this day, they were nonetheless able to exert enough pressure on the establishment that when the president a short while later announced the creation of a new internal investigations department within the Federal Intelligence Office, the general consensus was that the coalition deserved a good deal of thanks. So it's an internal investigation department of the Federal Intelligence Office. Okay. So. No. Almost like a CIA, but internal, which is kind of scary. Anywho, the reason why I bring this up is because the Peacock told me he'd requested another operation against Artorias. I think it's a mistake. I told him as much, but he laughed it off. I think he was drunk or high, actually, but you never know with him. I don't like that a merc like him is running this op, but Rabbit made him the connect back to the nest. Sparks told me he pulled off a job against the feds that the Black Eagles don't even know happened. Hard to be. So where was it? YellowCladKing CONCORD, Directive Enforcement Department, has confirmed the investigations into the Serpentis fleet capabilities are underway following reports of the Federal Intelligence Office of a military buildup in by the Renegade Corporation. A source within the DED has informed the scope that they have aggressively pursued the investigation, but despite increased patrols across the cluster, they are yet to encounter any evidence of the so-called supercapital tech being operated by the Serpentis. The scope approached the DED's Brigadier General Odo Coriaci for a statement earlier this morning, and he issued a brief response. While he would neither confirm nor deny sightings of the tech, he urged Capsuleers not to take matters into their own hands and instead report any unusual activities to the DED. The unusual statement by General Coriaci follows unconfirmed reports of a stolen copy of the FIO dossier on the Serpentis military buildup making its way into the hands of an entity known only as the Deathless. While being confused as to the exact status of the Deathless, these reports allege this identifier was recently used in the hiring of several mercenary corporations previously active on the planet Shandel. When questioning this matter, Karachi refused to comment. Okay, hold on. Let's keep following this. Let's keep going, man. Let's keep going. We're not at the bottom of this fucking rabbit hole. Okay. Yin Mei, Shandel. Who was it? What factions? Intara Direct Action, Ostracon Agency, and Sekal Expeditionary Group. Holy shit. So, these are the groups that were involved in that, and the Deathless consists of... Fuck, where's my Twitter? Hold on. We're going to watch the panels as soon as the stream is over. No, this isn't the end of Eve. Only the beginning. Yeah. Okay, here we go. Shadowy. Okay, a shadowy network of smugglers linked to the Caldari and Thucker organized crime and mercenary groups have begun steadily increasing across New Eden. The ruthless alliance between the likes of Intara Action, Krulufor Organization, Antikonobo Brigade, and Sekal Expeditionary Force. So, Intara Direct Action, Sekal Expeditionary Force. The only other group that's here is the Ostakon Agency, which since this was made, actually what they did was, holy shit. So, this group, these guys, you know what the Ostakon Agency did? You know what the Ostakon Agency did? They bought the agency. They made it the agency. So, the Serpentis... Hold up. No, seriously. Like, now I'm really spun up. This, like... I need to find the linchpin why this isn't true, because otherwise it's almost spooky. Okay, great. Check it out. Hold on. So, hold on. Shadow of the Serpent happens, right? Yeah, the agency. So Shadow of the Serpent happens. When was that? August 2016. So we go back to New Eden News. We go back to 2016. We go to August. Yep. Okay, so Scope News Network releases their new tool to share contracts with Capsuleers. The very first use of this being is it this one? It might not have even been this one.
Recently surfaced Serpentis Capital-class blueprints have caused a stir in military circles across New Eden. Based on Galente Federation Navy designs, the Vehement-class Dreadnought, Vendetta-class Supercarrier, and the Vanquisher-class Titan deliver more firepower than their original Galente counterparts. In addition, they are optimized to support advanced stasis web-of-fire and hybrid weapons technology. A well-known criminal corporation, the Serpentis had intended to offer the blueprints to loyal Capsuleers. That plan came under fire when their shipyards were located and raided. Today, with the assistance of the Scope Network's extensive broadcasting system, CONCORD is now making the locations of these shipyards public, stating that all equipment and
So the very first thing that Scope does, Scope comes out with a new tool to coordinate Capsuleer effort, right? Which, like I said, is the Shadow of the Serpent event, was the first one, right? So then, CONCORD confirms rumors of the fleet strength. This is at the same time. The response was that the information about, or it points out that the information from the FIO dossier fell into the hands of the Deathless. So let's assume that the Deathless was already starting to become a thing at this point. This is the same, this entity is the same group, okay? We're going with that. First of all, that means that this is very likely that this event is Peacock's doing. This is the action that Peacock did that is being referred to in that thing. Next, we have, thank you for that. Actually, just before that, Yeah, just before that, we have Direct Action, Ostracon Agency, and Sekal Expeditionary Group. 2 of the 3 of these are members of what is now known as the Deathless. And the 3rd, the Ostracon Agency, are the people who bought the agency. Hold on. Agency. Divest? There. Orville. The Scope News Network announces a formal divestment of capsular job brokering business as part of a restructuring aimed at focusing on the news and entertainment side of business. While complying with Galente Federation SEC regulations, it is understood that the move was personally ordered by Louis Chauvel, founder of the Scope Network and trillionaire owner of Semotique Superluminal, the Federation's largest FTL communication provider backbone. Reports of Scope Network's move to refocus on its news and media mission surface as trading activity and luminaire technology interest exchange, suggesting that Semotique Superluminal was seeking buyers for the job brokerage framework it built using its access to the SEC's Galnet. The SEC has reportedly authorized the transfer of necessary licenses and protocol rights to the new owners of the job brokering business. While details of the deal remain confidential, insiders of Semotique Superluminal and Scope Network have informed Impetus Interstellar News that a consortium of mercenary contracting businesses was among the top builders of the brokerage business and technology. One source, speaking with Impetus reporters via encrypted identity masking hologram, provided documents indicating that this consortium included the Ostracon Agency and Intara Direct Action private military contracting corporations. Holy fuck. Well, boy, do I have something to share with them when they get here. I'm not wrong, right? Like, am I crazy? Glorification of the fit, mortification of the unfit. You, CCP, are glorified. Thank you for the raid. That is mighty kind of you. Holy shit. Oh my god. This is officially the largest this channel has ever been. Neat. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Just in time. Boy, do I have something for you guys. We just stumbled upon it. And then, so I want to show you guys what I got. And then we're going to restart the stream. And we're going to go through all of the major CCP panels today and see what we think. But first, I want to share with you this. So today, there's a new scope video. For those of you who are already here, we're gonna step back through it all, okay? So I apologize to you, but I think it's worth going over again. All right, so we're going to start by muting the alert box for a little while. Okay, so this is today's scope video, right? We're going to start there. This is based on what happened yesterday, by the way.
Capsuleers attending a session of the Interstellar Anti-Smuggling and Counter-Piracy Conference at the Jita 4 TAC 4 Trade Hub were surprised when a CONCORD presentation on rising smuggler activity was apparently hijacked by the very same smugglers.
Ain't that fucking new?
Platitudes, blandishments, lies. You of all people know that CONCORD and the Empires have no interests in common with you. They have done nothing for you. They shall do nothing for you. How long will you listen to their empty words? In recent days, as is their pitiful habit, CONCORD has made use of you to advance their own agenda. These free trade outposts you have so willingly cleared of my associates have been taken over by CONCORD's worst, the Cero. Perhaps you don't believe me? Check for yourself. I have broadcast the new signatures of those sites to all. Why should you not destroy the Sorrow bully boys? They have always sought to control you. Do their bidding no more. Open your eyes. Seize your destiny. And, if you would, join me, the Deathless.
Embarrassed by this intrusion, CONCORD officials have refused to comment on Sorrow activity at occupied smuggler outposts, other than to state that measures are simply being carried out to ensure the complete eradication of illegal smuggling activities. Any recent improvements in the strained diplomatic relationship between the Galente Federation and the Caldari state have been overshadowed by claims that a Galente diplomat was involved in a massive spy ring operating within the Caldari state. The Caldari state's chairman, Akimaka Saraki, delivered a fiery speech in a live broadcast from the Caldari Chief Executive Panel yesterday. The scheduled speech was reportedly originally aimed at promoting interstellar diplomacy due to the ongoing Jita 4 TAC 4 summit. However, with state corporations and citizens expressing outrage over the new allegations, the delivered speech leaned heavily into patriotic rhetoric and evoked previous hostilities with the Galente state.
We remain Caldari, no matter the cost.
No direct response or comments have been made by the Galente Federation so far, but Federation Navy and Customs forces have been placed on heightened alert status. This is Alton Havery, reporting for The Scope.
Okay, so that's today's news. We now have a new group and a new name, okay? So we have this symbol in the background, which is the Ouroboros with the dot in the middle of it. And we have this guy who identifies himself as the Deathless. So the question is first of all, is the Deathless a person? Is it a group or whatever? And there's another reference here that seems to suggest that the Deathless is in fact a group, okay? So he's representing a group known as the Deathless. Got it, cool. Well, I did a little bit of a search, and I found that there's only been one previous time of the Deathless being used in any of the lore. And what's really weird about it is that it's something that was used only once, and it was a throwaway, and it was never mentioned again or before. There's ads. Hold on. So, does everybody have ads right now? Ads for question mark? I can wait. Okay, cool. All right, never mind. All right, so let's go all the way back to 2016. All right, back in 2016, there is a new development, which is that the Scope News Network opens up a new offering where they can now coordinate capsuleers by giving them goals and rewards. This was the very first time we ever had an event with a track on it, and it was known as the Shadow of the Serpent event, okay? And what we were doing was we were going after Serpentis facilities to raid them to get the pieces, and the completion of it is where you got the Vehement blueprint, okay? So this article, this World News came out with this event, okay? So this was in August 16th. YellowCladKing CONCORD Directive Enforcement Department has confirmed investigations into Serpentis fleet capabilities are underway following reports from a Federal Intelligence Office of Military buildup by the Renegade Corporation. A source within the DED has informed the Scope that they are aggressively pursuing the investigation, but despite increased patrol across the cluster, they are yet to encounter any evidence of the so-called supercapital tech being operated by the Serpentis. The Scope approached DED Brigadier General Odo Koriachi for a statement earlier this morning, and he issued a brief response. While he would neither confirm nor deny sightings of the tech, he had urged capsuleers not to take matters into their own hand and instead report all unusual activities to the DED. The unusual statement by General Koriachi followed unconfirmed reports of a stolen copy of the FIO dossier on the Serpentis military buildup making its way into the hands of an entity known only as the Deathless. While being confused of the exact status of the Deathless, these reports allege that this identifier was recently used in hiring of several mercenary corporations previously active on the planet of Shandel. When questioned in this matter, Karachi refused to comment. So what mercenaries were used in Shandel, right? What mercenaries were used in Shandel, mercenary corporations withdraw from Shandel. The mercenary an additional factor that may have helped reaching ceasefire terms was the sudden withdrawal of several noticeable mercenary corporations from the conflict. Private mercenary forces from Intara Direct Action, Ostakon Agency, and Sekal Expeditionary Group. have disengaged this week. So great, we've got 3 groups named Intara Direct Action, which is a Caldari semi-criminal organization, Ostracon Agency, which is, hold on, we have let me make sure I got them right. Yeah, so Ostracon Agency is Galente, right? So we've got the Ostracon Agency, yes, that agency, and then Intara Direct Action is that criminal group for the Caldari, right? And then the third would be the Sekel Expeditionary Group. 07, thank you guys so much for that. All right, so cool. So we have 3 different pirate groups. If you go to the when you go to choose your side right now, if you hover over it, it tells you information. No, not that. No. I don't need like Ash Inception. I need my tweet. Hold on. I can't pull up the text again without like either digging through HoboLeaks or finding my tweet where I posted it. So, a shadowy network of smugglers linked to Caldarian, Thucker, organized crime, and mercenary groups have begun steadily increasing its reach across New Eden. This is for the same thing. So this is the shadowy network of smugglers that want your assistance, and the unknown dude refers to him/them as the Deathless. This ruthless alliance is between Intara, so Intara Direct Action, Krulafor Organization, Antakaноbo Brigade, and Sekel Expeditionary Group. So Intara and Sekel are both part of this group, with the third one being the Ostracon Agency. Wait, what the fuck happened to the Ostracon Agency? Well, a month after all of this happened, Scope Network ownership formally divests Capsular job brokering business. No, sorry, a year and a month later. The Scope Network has announced formal divestment of Capsular job brokering business as part of a restructuring aimed at focusing on the news and entertainment side of the business. While complying with Galente Federation and SEC regulations, it is understood that the move is personally ordered by Louis Chavel, founder of the Scope Network and trillionaire owner of Semetique Superluminal, the Federation largest FTL communication backbone provider. Reports of the Scope Network moves to refocus on the news and media mission surfaces as trading activity, blah, 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 blah. While the details of the deal remains confidential, insiders at Semetique Superluminal and Scope Network have informed Impetus Interstellar News that the consortium of mercenary contracting businesses was among the top bidders for the brokering business and technology. One source, speaking to Impetus reporters via an encrypted identity masking hologram, provided documents indicating that this consortium included the Ostracon Agency and Intara Direct Action private military contracting corporations. So at this point, we have every single piece of information we have every evidence that this coalition, this deathless group, existed while the Shadow of the Serpent event was going on. And Peacock, because if we go back to Isra Hakazosu's, which is she's the Caldari person who ended up being for the Garistas in the hijacking of the Capitol, or like the stealing of the Capitol blueprint stuff that we just had in the hunt. Well, we got her messages, right? And one of the messages said, she talks about this guy named the Peacock. And in the end, she's meeting with the Peacock at the bar, but right before she gets caught. And Leopold, this is Leopold, and he's there meeting with her at the bar right before they're caught. So the assumption is that Leopold is, in fact, the Peacock. So the Peacock told me he'd requested another operation against the Arturus. I think it's a mistake. The Arturus is a raid by the Garistas on some data facilities for the Caldari Ministry of Records. I think it's a mistake. I told him that I laughed it off. I think he was drunk or high, actually, but you never know with him. I don't like that a merc like him is running this op, but Rabbit made him the connect back to the nest. Sparks told me he pulled off a job against the feds that the Black Eagle don't even know happened. Hard to believe. Going back to this. The unusual statement from General Karachi follows unconfirmed reports of a stolen copy of the FIO dossier of the Serpentis military buildup making its way into the hands of an entity known only as the Deathless. So, Peacock, Leopold and Valari in YC118 while he right after he had just relocated to the Senate Bureau Administration 1 year prior. So he relocates to the Senate Bureau, and then the next year, while the attack on the Serpentis is occurring, he steals information from the FIO and gives it to a collection of mercenary group called the Deathless, who then take that information, and it probably has something to do with the leaving of the planet. Haven't followed it that long, but that means that A, all of this goes back to 2016 at minimum, and B, the agency that we know it is compromised. That's why we are now getting the ability to attack CONCORD via the agency, because they're the ones in control. The Deathless controls the agency. There you go. And to top it all off, the little cherry on top is, as I've said many times, there is one pirate faction pairing that is missing in this game. Everybody's been asking for it for a very fucking long time, and that is Caldari and Mimitar. And what we have here is a collection of Caldari pirate corporations, or pirate criminal mob groups, and a renegade Thucker clan, Caldari and Mimitar, a new faction, the Deathless, and they're asking us to help them. So, CCP says the arc is already started. CCP says that the arc is going to help hint as to what is coming. CCP has said that our help in it can either make it happen or not happen. That's the information I have for you today. Let's go watch the show, shall we? By the way, 07 to all the people that subbed, and thank you so much for the hype train and everything. That was awesome. But I like, literally, as I was watching the video, like I said, I searched for the Deathless, and suddenly it clicked that the same groups. I was like, wait a minute, it wasn't just the Osticon agency that bought the agency. Like, that was one of the names, but they said other names too. So then when I went back and like compared those, I was like, oh my god. So this has to do with the growing criminal organization, smuggling organization. All right. We're still getting like follows and stuff, huh? 07 Fallen Archon, thank you for that. And thanks for all the people who have subbed. Very kind of you. Love your guys' support. It's very awesome. Crossed over 6,000 followers. Amazing. Yes. I mean, they straight up said it. That they're not going to be telling us like via notes or dev blog what's coming, but instead it'll emerge naturally through the story and universe. So, and they are, like I said, they already said that the first arc has started. So basically, if you go to this year, it all starts with the Angel Cartel hijacking, because this guy here, Rafik Zohar, has been given, he was the leader of the Angel Cartel's side of this raid. So this guy steals the Roke Wall and gets away with it. And then a month later, this girl is caught basically spying on the Jita 44, something called Operation Phoenix, Firebird, which we think is obviously the capital ship plans, because A, that's what they stole, and B, Firebird, Phoenix, whatever. But it also leads into things like accusations of Edencom working with the Amar. Peacock has some dirt on Oveg Dursk. Okay. You get what I'm saying? Like, so there's something happening. Absolutely. Archive K is the union of Amar and Caldari military intelligence. They actually were involved in the hack, and also the intelligence agent from Sine Wave Omega, which is now the Edencom intelligence officer, but was just an intelligence agent / lead inquisitor for the Ministry of Internal Order. He is tied into Archive K, and his nickname is Card Player. Yes, Sekal and Krulifer has been active, very active for a very long time. But it looks like they might be working together more than against each other now. I don't know. You want to side with Concord. Why do you want to side with Concord? Well, you'll be able to fly the ship either way, probably. I mean, whatever it is, if it does come out. So if this arc started and we didn't know from the beginning, how in the world could we possibly accomplish the goals needed to have faction release? Well, I assume that those things are going to be explicit once they are there. I don't think that we've gone through like all right now. They've been laying the groundwork, right? They wouldn't. You're right. They haven't told us that there's things to pay attention to yet. But if you notice, like things like, did we return the scientists to Ore, or did we return the scientists to the bad guys, right? CCP alluded to or joked around with the fact, and I don't think this is actually the case, but like they joked around about the idea that if we didn't return the scientists, that could delay whether or not the research comes out, which at the time, like that's a joke, so it obviously isn't the way it happened, but that could very well have been preparation for the reality of what it is from now on. So it's worth thinking about. Yeah, so what's funny is that back in the day, I speculated that if they wanted to do a new pirate faction, what they should do is like something related to, ironically enough, the Thuckers, and have it be a smuggling organization, and have it be about speed, shields, and have the Caldari bonus be bonus to jam strength, and make it special bonus be that it has old school jams. So when it jams somebody, they can't lock anybody, even the ship that is jamming them. Boom, that's your ship. I saw... Is there subs that I'm missing? Oh, man. There's at least 3 clues in the scope video in the presentation when it was shown. Well, yeah. So we're going to go to the CCP videos real quick. And let's see. I'm going to find CCP stream. And we'll get started. Like Thucker suddenly becoming evil smugglers? Well, I mean, there's different clans. The Sekal clan is a rogue clan of the Thuckers. Did you follow the ticker on... We can look at the ticker real quick. I mean, I went over them, but let me just make sure I didn't miss anything or something. Embarrassment for Concord as notorious underworld figure interrupts briefing on future security of New Eden. Federation and Navy... Federation Navy Customs in Kirkane, Australian Prairie Constellation reportedly mobilizing on high alert. Speech by Chairman Akimaka Saraki garners high approval ratings across Caldari State. And Megacorps present United Front, DD Special Affairs for Regulation and Order Units attacked by the Deathless. Yeah, by the Deathless. Yeah, that's referring to the group. In call for Capsuleers to defy Concord. Hitman General Krath Filmer returns to Metropolis Fleet HQ and ammo after overseeing Flosis Win 4 planetary defenses. Reinforcement. Federal Senate Subcommittee on Caldari Galente Relations opens investigation into missing diplomat Leopold and Velari. senior figures in Krulafor organization and Tara family reported to have escaped capture by Sorrow commandos in Ikami system. Intaki Assembly debates mobilization of Intaki Prime Reserve militia as diplomatic crisis sends shockwaves through population. Signatures of smuggler sites confiscated by Concord Sorrow released to capsuleers by the Deathless. Amar Imperial Guard inspections of security and planetary defenses beginning in Arzad and Sosala systems. President Celis Agard chair Federal Security Council meeting on diplomatic crisis with Caldari state. Anakonobo and Sekal mercenaries moving to, quote, secure illegal assets and provide security for criminals, end quote, according to Concord reports. Concord conflict monitoring mission in Placid increased. I mean, it's kind of more than the same. Well, so there's also there is a possibility, especially with the Intaki involved, or like Intaki, the system being involved so much in this, that the Deathless are, well, yes, yeah. If connecting these two things together, right, where the Deathless is the group that was taken off of Chantel. The group of Chantel was Direct Action, Ostracon Agency, and Sekal. So yeah. Oh yeah. Well, so there's the whole other half of this, which is the Deathglow Hunters and everything, right? So we have the Anibra cult, which is the other source of where the word Deathless could come from. Because the Anibra cult is the, let me see. I may have to wrap this up just so we can start the videos, but, do I have it here? Nah, I barely have anything here. So the Anibra cult is the inciting incident for a lot of the major plot recently is the Lost Idama. There was basically the Intaki have a religion that involves reincarnation, but they actually have a technology that's involved in that that allows them to actually do the actual transfer of, so they're reborn, right? They have the reborn, and then they have their religious leaders called the Idama, which can actually be reborn without using the technology. Well, they had a Idama that was going to go somewhere else and was lost. Now this Idama was known for being kind of the figurehead of a pretty terrorist cell that was known for bombing places and stuff. This death cult known as the Anibra cult. Well, one of the Intaki declared that they had found the Idama, but it was a Blood Raiders. It was in a Khanid slave. It was a Khanid slave, and so they asked for him back, and Khanid refused. And so suddenly there's all of these Deathglow bombings in Khanid space, and at the same time, a raid on that cruiser with the Idama by the Death Cult. They failed to get the Idama, and the bombings kind of continued for a little while, but Khanid's response was to send in Intara Direct Action and somebody else. No, it was Mortis Legion and stuff to Intaki, and that eventually became the Intaki looting, right? In 2018. So yeah, this all pretty much goes back to that. This website is my lore portal. I've been it's still very much a work in progress. Mostly I'm just trying to fill it out at this point, but some pages are better than others. I also, by the way, have moved the entire Precursor Crisis over to here. So all of my information about the Triglavian Collective and all that stuff is there. And then also I found a bunch of chronicles that aren't on the main Chronicle website. So here they all are too. Yes, it is absolutely open to the public. In fact, it's part of my the Convocation website, which has all kinds of different tools and resources. Here, I'll pimp it out while we're here. Our Convocation Empyrean website is available for people, or at least the public area is. We've got tool and resources. Oh, good. I've got a lore place in here, too. I probably need to just blow this away. Oh, no, this has some stuff. I should probably move this to the lore portal. But, you know, this has the Magic 14 in it. A bunch of third-party tools. You know, I kind of try to collect useful things that I find for people and put them here. So a bunch of websites, mapping tools and such. Yeah, I know he is. And then also, if you go to activities in Abyss, I have a bunch of resources for the Abyss, including my cheat sheet. Yep. All right.